In the pristine waters of the Pacific Northwest and Alaska, the salmon run is one of the most anticipated events of the year. Millions of salmon migrate from the ocean back to the streams where they were hatched, looking for a place to spawn and pass on their offspring to the next generation. This trait, living in the ocean and feeding, then returning to fresh water to spawn, is called anadromy. After these salmon spawn, their bodies decompose, and that marks the end of their journey and life. This strategy is called simulparity, which means that the organism has one major reproductive event and then it dies. This mass decomposition of salmon in rivers provides food and nutrients for the surrounding ecosystem to grow. Sockeye salmon, or Oncorhynchus nerca, are also known as red or blueback salmon due to their different color phases during their lives. Adult sockeye in the ocean are chrome-colored with a distinctive bluish-green back and green head. When they return to the rivers, salmon want to be as colorful and noticeable as possible to attract potential mates. Both females and males turn a brilliant red, and just the males develop a humpback and massive hook jaw with protruding teeth. This is to fight for females. After the adults spawn, the fertilized salmon eggs grow in the rivers until the next spring. Baby salmon hatch and spend 1 to 3 years growing in fresh water. When they grow big enough, their bodies are ready for them to journey and transition from freshwater to saltwater. When they reach the sea, they can swim thousands of miles chasing food around the ocean. Salmon gain at least 95% of their total weight while feeding at sea. After 1 to 3 years of feeding, adults use their amazing sense of smell and swim up rivers, determined to find the exact place they hatched, in search of a mate to spread their genes. Here we focus on sockeye salmon returning to the Kenai Peninsula in south-central Alaska. The glacial Kenai River hosts sockeye salmon, as does the Clearwater Russian River, which flows into the upper Kenai River. To reach their spawning grounds, Russian River salmon have to travel over 75 miles just in the rivers alone, which takes 7 to 10 days. It is an amazing feat, these salmon runs that bring them all the way back to their home rivers. As juveniles in freshwater, salmon are preyed on by other fish because the smaller you are, the easier you are to eat. At sea, salmon have to dodge even bigger predators, like sea lions and human commercial fishing fleets. By the time they return back to the Kenai, dip nets fill the mouth of the river, as do avid sport fishermen. Once salmon hit the Russian River, they have to make it past an army of fishing hooks, bears, and one huge landscape obstacle, the Russian River Falls. Many fish die before ever leaving the ocean. Some make it almost to their spawning grounds, but run out of energy and die just beforehand. Salmon runs are literally a once-in-a-lifetime journey, with a very important mission, and there are many factors that can determine whether some salmon make it and others don't.